Hello my dear students, how are you today? Today we're gonna to study the second lesson in the second unit and we talk about the solution. Previously we learned about mixture and how the mixture is formed. And mixture here means mixing two substances together. So what is meant by solution? Solution is the same. Also it's a kind of mixture, but the solution here is formed due to mixing two things, and they are the solute and the solvent. Again, the solution is formed due to mixing the solute and the solvent. What is meant by each one of them? Starting with the solute. Solute, it's the substance which dissolve in the solvent. Again, solute, it's the substance which dissolve in the solvent. Like what? Like any solid substance dissolved in water or dissolved in any liquid. So the solute here, like the salt and sugar. The solvent. The solvent, it's the substance in which solute dissolves. Again, it's the substance which the solute dissolves, or it's the substance which the solute disappear in it. Like what? Like the water, the alcohol, and benzene. All of these liquids are solvent. So from this we conclude that the solute is a solid and the solvent is a liquid. Mixing solid with a liquid forming the solution. So the solution is a type of mixture. It's a special type of mixture. Generally, we can hear that the water is called a common solvent. Why the water is called a common solvent? Because thousands of substances can dissolve in it. Again, why the water is called a common solvent? Because thousands or many substances dissolve in it. The solubility process, or the dissolve of the solute in the solvent to produce the solution. So dissolving solute in solvent to produce the solution, as we said before. This process is called solubility process. Again, this process is called what? The solubility process. What is meant by the solubility process? Solubility process is the process by which the solute dissolve or disappear in a solvent, leading to the disappearance of the solute, as we said before. So when the solute disappear or dissolve in the solute, this produce or this make the solubility process. So we can symbolize this definition by solute plus solvent solubility process. It led to the appearance of the solution. Let us see. We learned before how to form a mixture. Today we will learn how to form a solution. We need what? We need a glass of water and a spoon of the salt or sugar, whatever. First, we will put the salt or the sugar in the water, then we let it for a while. What will happen? As we observe here, that the salt breaks down into small particles that disappear in the water, forming a salty solution. In the case of sugar, forming a sugar solution. But in this case, it will form a salty solution. From this, we conclude what? We conclude that the formed salty solution consists of salt, which is the solute, is the solid substance here, the water, which is the solvent, and it's the liquid substance here. For the solute to dissolve faster in the solvent, we need to stir. So stirring process is necessary to dissolve the solute or the salt in the solvent, which is the water. It speeds the things up. Let's put in our consideration that when a substance dissolves in solvent, this substance is called soluble. Again, when a substance dissolves in a solvent, this substance is called soluble. in that solvent. Okay? But when it doesn't dissolve in a certain solvent, it is called insoluble in that solvent. So, when the substance dissolves in the solvent, this substance is called soluble, but when the substance doesn't dissolve in the solvent, this substance called insoluble in that solvent. On adding an insoluble substance to certain solvent, a suspension is formed. Suspension is what is formed. If I asked you here, give reason. In the sugar solution, the sugar is considered as a solute. Why in the sugar solution the sugar is considered the solute? Let's remember the definition of the solute. Solute is the substance which dissolves in solvent. So in the sugar solution, sugar is considered as a solute because it dissolves in the solvent or in the water to form the solution. Let's go. What are the factors that affect the solubility process? Like any process, there are some factors that lead to increase or to decrease this process. The first thing, or the first factor, the quantity of solvent and solute. Quantity here means the amount. The amount of solvent and solute. The second factor is the temperature. The third factor is the stirring. And the last one here is the kind of solute. Let's start with the quantity of solvent and solute that affect the solubility. We need a 300 milliliter of water and an amount of sugar, and another beaker contains 50 milliliter of water and the same amount of sugar, and a glass rod and stopwatch. These are the tools that we need as we see here. First, what will happen? Dissolving the sugar in 300 milliliter takes shorter time than the time needed to dissolve the same quantity in 50 milliliter of water. Also, dissolving 5 grams of sugar takes shorter time than 20 grams of sugar. Also, the dissolving or the solubility time increase when the quantity of sugar, which is the solute, the solid substance, increase. Again, by increasing the solute or the sugar, the solubility time increase. So by decreasing the solute, which is the sugar, the solubility time decrease. From this we conclude what? We conclude that the solubility depends on the amount of solvent and solute weight. First, by increasing the quantity of solvent, the solubility process increase. Also, by increasing the quantity of solute, be aware here, the solubility process decrease. Going to the second factor. The second factor is the temperature. To prove that the temperature affects the solubility, we should do this activity. First, we need water. Water comes from the tap, and a same amount of iced water, and also another amount of the hot water, and 3 quantities, similar quantities of sugar, with the glass rod and the stopwatch. What should we do? We should put the same amount of sugar in the bakers, in the 3 different bakers at the same time, and observe the time needed for the sugar to completely dissolve or to dissolve in the liquid or the solvent. We observe that the sugar in the baker B take a shorter time. Which one of them is the baker B? It's the one over the flame. The one over the flame. From this we conclude that on using the same amount of solvent and solute, but increasing the temperature, the solubility time decrease. Solubility time decrease by increasing the temperature. While in the opposite, which one do you think of them that it took a longer time to completely dissolve in water? Excellent. It's the beaker that contain iced water. The beaker that contain iced water will take a longer time for the sugar to completely dissolve in it. If I asked you here a question, give reason. Dissolving sugar in heated water is faster than in cold water. Why? Why do you think that when dissolving sugar in heated water is faster than in cold water, as we said before? Because by increasing the temperature, the solubility process increase, or by decreasing the temperature, the solubility process decrease. Means that the solubility time increase. Again, increasing the temperature, solubility process increase, solubility time decrease. Decreasing the temperature, solubility process decrease, solubility time increase. Let's go to the third factor, stirring. By stirring, it affect on the solubility process. We have two beakers contain the same amount of water, and we will put in them the same amount of sugar. And we have here a glass fruit, and we will stir one of them and stopwatch, and let's observe what will happen. The sugar in the beaker that we stir it dissolves faster than the second beaker. Why? Or what do we conclude from this? We conclude from this that stirring increases the solubility process. The last factor here is to prove that the kind of solute affects the solubility process. If we have two beakers containing the same amount of water, and we have two different solutes, and they are the sodium chloride and sodium carbonate, and having two glasses of fruit and the stopwatch, by putting the sodium chloride in water and by putting the sodium carbonate in water, the time needed for the sodium carbonate to dissolve or to completely dissolve in water, it needs a longer time. Why? We see that the sodium chloride differ from the time needed for the sodium carbonate to completely dissolve in the water. From this, we conclude that the solubility process depends on the kind of solute. So let's memorize it and summarize it. Okay, we have four factors affecting the solubility process, and they are the temperature, the stirring, increasing the amount of solvent and decreasing the amount of solute, and the kind of solute. By increasing the quantity or the amount of solvent, solubility process increase. Also, by increasing the quantity of solute, the solid substance, the solubility process decrease. While using the same amount of solvent and solute but increasing the temperature, the solubility process or the solubility time here decrease. Solubility process increase. Also, by stirring, that it increases the speed of the solubility process. The solubility process depends also on the kind of solute. These are the factors affecting the solubility process. So here we learn about the solution, what is meant by solution, and it consists of the solute and the solvent, and what is meant by the solute, what is meant by the solvent, how to form the solution, and the factors affecting the solution. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and if you need anything, you can contact us by scanning the QR code and logging into any of the social media accounts, or you can contact to me directly with my WhatsApp account. Thank you for watching. See you next time, and goodbye.